Another verse for your ears only. I'm David Alpern.
I'm Catherine Herzog with this news quote. If it doesn't come from your heart, music just doesn't work. That was singing drummer Levon Helm, formerly of the band, who died last week at age 71. Now this.
Good times and bad times, I've seen them all, and my dear, I'm still here. Plush velvet sometimes just pretzels and beer, but I'm here.
There are a few cases of singer and song fitting more hand in glove than Marilyn Maye's version of I'm Still Here by Stephen Sondheim. And like our own show this week, she's celebrating a birthday, two in fact. At age 84, she begins her annual birthday run at Feinstein's Cabaret and Loews Regency Hotel on Park Avenue, New York. And this year is also the 70th in her career as a radio, television, theater, concert, and cabaret artist, with numerous honors and tidal waves of audience adoration along the way.
Maye's new show is titled The Happiest Sound in Town. And to talk about it and her extraordinary career, for your ears only, Marilyn Maye is on the line now. Welcome to our 30th anniversary show.
Thank you, and congratulations. That's an incredible record for radio.
It is.
Isn't that fabulous?
You began taking music lessons from your mom at age 3, voice lessons at 9, and at 14 you sang for two famous songwriters, Hugh Martin and Ralphie Blaine, who wrote Meet Me in St. Louis, Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, and many more. How did that audition come about?
Well, it really wasn't an audition. Actually, my cousin, who was like my sister, was a star. Joy Hodges was her name, and she was a Broadway, actually Universal Pictures starlet, and in the late 30s. And she was starring in a show called Best Foot Forward, and they, of course, wrote the music for that. She was appearing in a theater close. I was living in Des Moines, and her mother and I, my aunt and I, went to Chicago. She was appearing in a theater in Chicago doing Best Foot Forward, and they were with her, and she said, I want you to hear my little cousin sing. And I got up on the stage with a work light after the show was over, late in the evening, and a little girl sang for them. I think I sang a cappella. I'm not sure that there were any musicians around to play for me. So it was a thrill, and as years went on, Ralph Blaine and I became very dear friends. He moved, after he retired from his songwriting career, he moved to Tulsa, Oklahoma, and Tulsa has a great symphony orchestra, or had a great symphony orchestra, and I used to work with them a lot, and Ralph came to one of my performances, and he said, I remember you, and because of Joy Hodges and all that, so we became friends later in life. It's kind of fun how you pick up right where you left off.
But not long after that, playing for them, as I gather, even as a teenager, you had your own radio show. Did that bring admiration or jealousy from teenage pals?
Well, they used to go. It was in the days when you would work, behind the glass, and there were large windows, and people could stand outside the studio and watch you, do the radio show. And they would stand out there, and then afterward we would go for burgers, and I was very popular because usually I bought the burgers.
Working out of Chicago, you've said you played every Moose and Elks club in the state of Illinois. Was it fun or a little frightening to be trekking around the country as the girl singer that every guy thought was singing love songs just to him?
Oh, I like that because I've always sung to the audience, not for them. And actually, I went into Chicago. There were lots of booking agents. As soon as I got out of high school, I went from Des Moines, Iowa, where I lived, to Chicago, Illinois, where there were lots of booking agents. And the bookings were in very strange clubs. You would take trains. I'm that old that I would get on the train and go to someplace in Illinois, some moose club, and sing for a week or two. And, it's the beginning of a career.
One guy who took a shine to you also shone a spotlight on you on his television show. Tell us about becoming a favorite of the great comedy and talk show host Steve Allen.
Oh, I loved Steve. He was very good to me. I was working in Kansas City in one club. In fact, I worked one club in Kansas City for 11 years. And during that time, I did a local recording, which was sent around to various record companies. Steve at that time owned Pacific Jazz Records, and he heard my recording of it and just called out of the clear blue sky. Someone answered the phone and said, "There's someone named Steve Allen." I said, "I don't know any Steve Allen." And I picked up the phone and I heard that voice and I thought, "Oh my God, it's the Steve Allen." And he said, "I want you to come out and do my prime time show." At that time, he had a show. I think it was on Sunday at 8:00, and I did that show many times. And then later on, he had a show in the Hollywood Ranch Market area, and I went out a lot and did that. As years went on, we did a succession of one-nighters, Steve and I and Bill Dana and Louis Nye. And in fact, I was just at the McCallum Theater last week in Palm Springs, and that's where our tour. We did 4 tours of one-nighters with Steve and those comedy men, and we started the tours at the McCallum Theater. So it was very nostalgic to go back to that theater. Steve was fabulous to work with. He loved music. He understood what the singer was doing, and it made it a joy to be with him.
And later you became actually a record regular on Johnny Carson's Tonight Show. Beyond pure musicianship, every critic writes about the sheer energy you bring to your singing. And I'm wondering, what kind of health and exercise regimen do you follow to stay at that peak?
I take vitamins, David. I just take vitamins and keep packing and unpacking. That's great exercise. And stairs and airports and my theory is just keep moving, and that keeps you healthy. Attitude. I have a great attitude. I'm hardly ever ill, and I think positively about my work and my life.
Marilyn Maye's annual birthday show is the happiest sound in town from April 24th through May 5th at Feinstein's Cabaret in Manhattan's Loews Regency Hotel.
Here's a quote from the news. "I wish you'd bite me on the neck." That was a typical fan letter to Jonathan Frid, who played vampire Barnabas Collins on TV's Dark Shadows, and a cameo role in the new Tim Burton movie version before his death last week at age 87.
Next, saving the first for last, excerpts from the launch of this broadcast 30 years ago this week for your ears only.